Welcome back to the main stage for the closing of what was an absolute incredible conference. Obviously, conferences do not just happen like that, they also need sponsors. And now we're going to show you a few videos from the gold sponsors of the Avantio Partnership Conference. And then I'm going to wrap up the conference with a closing speech on some takeaways. And then Manuel will use his words for goodbye. So our first video that we want to show to you is a video from one of the gold sponsors called Price Labs. Next presentation, we're going to show you from somebody, unfortunately, who couldn't make it as gold sponsors, but nevertheless, very important to our industry, Booking.com.
At Booking.com, finding perfect isn't all that difficult. Beachfront property, no problem. Kitchen, how are you guys? Got it. And EV charging. This is a big tune. Grandma's into it.
Grandma's loving it.
Find your perfect place to stay. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Wow, pretty fancy. And now we have the final one from Beyond.
Beyond is a revenue management platform built to help short-term rental industry professionals get, grow, and keep revenue. We help owners and property managers save time, improve occupancy, and revenue. Beyond pioneered the first dynamic pricing algorithm, adjusting prices based on market demand, the day of week, and the seasonality, and updating them daily. Beyond's dynamic pricing algorithm syncs prices to Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com, and your property management systems. Our team is here to support you every step of the way. Let's grow together.
Excellent, thank you very much. Let's work together. For me, it was a great honor and pleasure to help moderate and help to add some quality to an amazing event of Avantio 2022 Partnership Conference. It was an incredible event, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope so did you. For me, I have attended many property management conferences around the world. I have to say, this was probably one of the best conferences that I've ever attended to. A little sponsoring speech from myself, AJL Atelier. We're a go-to partner for vacation rental. We don't sell tech. We sell human capital to solve your challenges. Anything that is related to strategy, M&A, or anything, mergers and acquisitions, financial, operation. We help you with your laundry, whatever is required. We will help businesses to better navigate in vacation rental and make it more professional. And one thing that is very deep at heart to us, because we're in a very emotional industry, we will also happy to explain to you how the brand of AGL came about, because that's actually the name of our three children, Alison, Jack, and Eileen Lehmann. And we are super passionate about vacation rental. We'll live and breathe it all day long, and we want to give you the same spirit. But let's move on and just reflect and remember the last couple of days in an incredible setting. We arrived at a day where it was raining, teeming down, thunderstorms are happening, and it couldn't have been a better start to think, oh my God, it actually rains in Spain, right? And sure enough, no umbrella in the apartment. Of course not. I stole mine at the hotel, but I returned it, right? So we couldn't have had a better venue. It was an incredible place, amazing speakers, and just a great conference altogether. Thank you, Avantio, for putting this together. I want to here say a special thank to Caesar to what he has done. Now think about the fact that Avantio is actually a technology company, right? But they're putting some decent stuff together, a decent conference together, and Caesar has worked relentlessly. I am sure that Caesar will not end up in the event organization industry, and he will stick to his guns going forward, but he's done an incredible job. We freestyled, everything has worked, it was great food, we had great conversations, and Caesar, you made it possible. Thank you very much. So, when I was asked, this is easy to delegate. Caesar was good at delegating, right? He's like, Simon, can you close the conference for 30 minutes? It's like, holy smokes. I don't have a lot of time. I was on stage literally all day, and I had to put some thoughts together, say, how do I wrap up this conference with incredible content, amazing panels, great conversations? So I thought we'd do like a word cloud, and put all the words that came into my head onto a slide. Interesting enough, the word cloud on its own, I don't know if there's an AI algorithm behind it, has given me some highlights to talk about as well. And the first one that popped out right in the middle, totally at random, is expectation. I have a question to you. Are your expectations met? Yes. Yes. Well, it's time to go home. Expectations are met, but we have a lot to take with us. A lot of things to think about. We saw a lot of data presentations. We talked about payment solutions, software. We talk about budgets, operations. We talked about cost of labor, profit, finance. Sometimes you think, when I explain to people what vacation rental is all about, I say it's the simplest business on earth. There's a guest, and there's an owner, and you need to bring these together. And we are capable to have all these wonderful minds for 2 days discussing and learning how to do this better. So it's obviously not that simple. But we're passionate about it. We have a lot of common denominators. We heard Tony Nadal this morning. For me, the Tony Nadal presentation was, for me, the absolute highlight of many other panels and great presentations and conversations. How refreshing is it for us to maybe take an hour a day to step out of the hamster wheel and just take stuff in that we can all relate to. It is so simple, right? We have a lot of common denominators. We need to talk about strategies. We need to talk about our revenue, channel management. We talked about trends. Guest experience came over and over and over. We had another world highlight at this conference. Did anybody realize that Google attended? Okay. What is that going to mean? Do we know? We debated at Focusrite for years. How is the role between OTAs and Google going to play out? Google has shown up. Very discreet, had a lot of great conversations. I saw Google's booth was full 2 days. Flat chat. The team at Google couldn't even go and attend presentations because the interest is massive. There's things happening. We need to think about those. What does that mean for you? The landscape is constantly evolving, and that's why we need these conferences where we bring people together, and we don't need to sit in our chairs for 2 days and listen how wonderful Avantio is. That would be pretty boring, right? But no, they put an event together to share, to bring good speakers, knowledgeable people from all over the world to bring together to help you to get better, for you to evolve, to get more professional. Only 35% of vacation rentals in the world are professionally managed. Go and get the other 65. Total addressable market, 13 million properties. Growth forever. Do it sustainably, do it profitably. We have talked about sustainability, and I'm really sorry for Bob, and I need to break a leg for him. He was chosen to be the second last presentation of the day. The room was literally empty. That's not good. I have 5 children. I want to leave something behind that is sustainable. And we need to think about this. If somebody does not believe we have an energy crisis or actually a climate crisis, I think it's time to rethink that or change your party. We have massive things to do, and we at the vacation rental industry have huge opportunities to create a more sustainable industry. Turn these air cons down, turn the heating down. We don't need 26 degrees in winter. We don't need 19 in summer. There's so much stuff we can do, and I love the fact that Bob has taken this and going hard at it, and there's a lot of work, and we need to embrace it, we need to engage it, and we can all start with ourselves. I had to get divorced to realize that the only person I can change in my life is myself. And that's where we need to start. We need to start thinking about ourselves and what we can contribute to make this industry more sustainable, more professional, and make it so everybody out there in the world wants to stay in vacation rentals going forward. We have a lot of work to do. Common denominators, we're passionate. That's why we're all here. We're passionate of what we're doing. We need to talk about what our minimum standards are, what our brand standards are, what do we stand for, what kind of customer service do we want to provide, what kind of products do we want to provide. We need to provide products that we want to stay in ourselves. You know, we all come here, we're super sophisticated, we talk about amazing stuff, we talk about minimum rates, we talk about ADR, we talk about RevPAR, we talk about revenue management strategy, we don't talk about data, we talk about, you know, best technology solution, house automation, we talk about so many different things, financial hygiene, M&A, what is my business worth, I want to get rich and famous and everything else, but that's the truth of the story. This is my place. Avantio didn't want to give me hotel rooms, I had to stay in a vacation rental. Just kidding. I always stay in rentals for that reason. And I'm always glad that the people in most cases don't know who I am. So that's good, because I don't get any red carpet, I don't get anything. I just rent. And then this is what I get. Somebody, Flo Stich, former AirDNA and now TurboSuite, said to me, this is the Gorgonzola amenity. I love Gorgonzola, but I love it on pasta and not on my shower. I have refrained from showing you more photos, it's enough. Are we a 380 Air France plane that's just about to crash? This is sitting on my bedside table. Now figure it out. There's no back wings, and I'm a pilot, a private pilot. There's no engines. Happy Air France. I probably should have tossed it in the bin, but I thought this is great, I'll take a photo. And this is where the industry is going, is this is the crap we're going to put onto our guests. And this is called a short-term rental, it's called a freaking dump. And if this is the type of product we're going to continue to provide to our customers, we're going to be out of business pretty quick smart. You know, 2005, I met an amazing guy. His name was Brian Sharples. He raised a ton of money and said, I'm going to consolidate the vacation rental advertising space worldwide. He was the founder of HomeAway, now Verbal. I said to him, what is your biggest passion? And he said to me, I was just becoming CEO at Interhome, he says, I want to make the vacation rental industry the most respected travel vertical in the world. 2005, when 5% of US travelers have rented. I gave him a big hug and said, you're going to be a friend of mine for my lifetime, and we're going to make it happen. And I ended up on the board of HomeAway 10 years later, and we sold it to Expedia, and we made a massive inroads out there already talking about this industry. And we used marketplaces to actually push our industry forward. They were very, very much property management driven as well. They helped. But now we are at 80% of travelers are using rentals, regular or once a year or whatever. Now, if they stay at a place like that, we're going to have a big problem. And you know what the biggest problem is? You might laugh about this, right? And I'm not going to say who the company is, whatever. It's absolutely irrelevant. You know why? It's irrelevant because none of you has a consumer-facing brand and 100% direct bookings. Not even the big ones. The big boys, Novasol, At Leisure, Interhome, Interchalet, Vacasa. Vacasa barely cracks 10% direct bookings. We have no consumer-facing brand, so we have a problem. Airbnb, with their brand and their power, have managed to reduce our industry to glorified cleaning people. And we let it happen. Nothing wrong with Airbnb. They did a monster job. And we, as an industry, were too lazy to get everything out of our hands, and now somebody else is calling us the Kleenex. If I go and ask to people, where did you stay in vacation rental? They said, we did an Airbnb. My underwear turns, I start to shiver. It's like, what did you do? And then I ask, I am sure that the day you checked out, Brian Chesky cleaned your toilet. Is that right? I know. It's you guys. So don't get yourself reduced to what you do, because you do the hard yards. You make sure the guest experience is there. You make sure the customers are happy. You make sure the technology works. You make sure the industry has data. We don't need to be reduced to that. We are more than glorified cleaning people. We are professional property managers that are passionate about hospitality, greeting and welcoming guests and working with them. But then get rid of this crap, because that is not going to help us. Because if somebody has a bad experience, it's a bad experience in a rental. So if this is a property of one of your competitors, you could think this is great because they have shitty properties. Well, the problem is that the person stays at that place will say, I had a bad rental. And a bad rental is all of you. So we need to get better in how we execute our business and get rid of this stuff. So, everything comes to an end, and so does a conference. This Tony Nadal thing just got me like, this is going to get me going for a long time. I'm a passionate tennis player myself. I told our tennis coach this morning by video, I'm just changing my coach. She was not happy. She was world's number 134, and I saw this picture today on Facebook, and I loved it. This picture you can talk about for hours. And pictures are always good to take things away. For me, I love Roger. It happened to be that my son was born on the same day as Roger's twins in the same hospital in Zurich. And I was coming back from a board meeting from HomeAway. I missed the birth of my son because the board meeting of HomeAway in Austin. My wife gave birth during the night. I made it too late. They didn't want to let me in to the ward because there were security guards everywhere. So finally, I fought my way through to get to my wife. I said, what the hell is happening? It's like Mirka is lying next door. Ah, great. So I had the opportunity to meet Roger at a private dinner. And then we have Rafa, and now the combination with Tony today was for me just an amazing combination. And seeing what is the takeaway for me. Never underestimate your opponent. Look at Roger's view and how he looks at Rafa. He's like, yeah, you have to go a long way to beat me. Now they're holding hands and saying goodbye. I hate goodbyes. Respect and work. So I was taking a lot of notes today, and I've taken so many quotes from Tony. And when I was preparing for this speech, I was thinking there are so many things we can relate to our day-to-day work that Tony has given to us. And thank God we had these headsets over there. My Spanish was a bit rocky. Don't overvalue yourself. That's going to be my quote. I don't like complicated things. And if anybody wants that presentation, you're more than happy to have it. I did this in lunch break, like in 10 minutes. It's not all about data, it's about you. So we need to find the right balance in how we go about things. Play the ball to where the opponent is not simple. I mean, I was like, great. I said to my wife, I know now how to play tennis. Because I always play the ball to you. Now it's going to go on the other side. But it's the same in our industry too, right? Think about who your opponent is. You cannot imagine how many companies I'm seeing, property management companies you're working with. And one of my always first questions is, who is your competition? And they say, we have none. Yeah, okay. Just look out of the window. Play inside the court. Awesome. Don't play outside. I think there's a lot of things we can consider inside in our industry. When times are tough, you must remain strong. Simple. I'm going to tell that to my son. This is simple. And we have shown it. Look at what our industry has gone through in COVID. Amazing. Resilient, flexible, asset light. We managed it through. Many companies didn't even have to let people go. Vacation rental is one of the most resilient travel industry that there are. And we've always bounced back the faster. But now we're facing these damn guest experiences. They don't want gorgonzola in the shower. When you're not needed, you need to leave. Poor. You know, there's a lot of owners in here who build their businesses. They're super proud. They want to make every decision. They want to talk about everything. But hey, let your team do that. Delegate. Elevate other people. Give them ownership. And then walk away. Let them make mistakes. It's like with children. If you care about everything they do, they will never learn. So we need to let go. And when our experience is not needed, let the others do it. When you're not needed, just leave. Love it. Everything has a common denominator. How simple is that sentence? But then we think about it. It's actually incredibly true. So let us take some time and reflect that. I've got more. Don't overvalue yourself. It's important how and when you say things. I could think about this. I talk a lot, I know. And sometimes it's just better to think about how I'm going to say something, what is I going to say, and is it really needed? It's important how and when you say things. It's all about timing. Think about it. Things never work out the first time. I love that one. We're constantly evolving, and we need to fail. We need to test. We need to get better constantly. Endurance, we heard it. And this is also about us. We don't have to get frustrated certain things don't work out. Only by mistakes we can learn. And things always don't work out the first time. We need to be patient. We need to redo it, and practice and practice and practice and practice. And get better at it. We need to know the value of things. Wow. Think about it. In your daily decision-making process, only do things that you believe are going to add true value to your business. At Interhome, it was a very large business, we used to have a chief rubbish officer. He was in charge to get us leaner and more focused on creating value. We had a decision process, and if an inquiry or a project or whatever did not add value to either a guest or a customer or an owner, we didn't do it. It needs absolutely relentless focus, but think about it, we need to know what actually has value and what has no value. We do so many things, day in, day out, that creates zero value to ourselves and to our businesses. We need to pay the price I'm an old generation guy. This is the way I was brought up. We need to fall over, we need to pay the price, we need to stand up and keep moving. And I tell you what, it's not going to get easier. Who of you have ever thought we're going to face a war in the Ukraine? Who of you has ever thought that we're going to reach an energy crisis second to none? So we are paying the price, and we're paying it heavily. I think we have been too long on the party. After we got over COVID, which was fortunately less bad than we originally thought, how many people are going to die from it and everything else, we have responded to it quicker than ever. We still don't have a treatment for AIDS, and we still don't have treatment for cancer. But we need to pay the price. And if we don't pay the price, there's nothing coming back. We waste too much time on stuff that are not important. Absolutely, all the time. It's incredible how much stuff we do that are not important, and we need to think about this. What do I do today? What is important, really, really important? What is not so important? Do this arbitrage on a daily basis. And last, but definitely not least, let's go for it. This is something that I have taken away here with all this inspiring content and the work that we have done here. For me, it's all in. Thank you very much.